How y'all doing today? This is Jason, Zombie Collector. I feel like I need to stop saying that. I feel like it's obvious at this point. My name is Zombie Collector. It's Jason if you're dirty. Dirty. One of them dirty boys and girls. But I thought I'd go live today and chat up a bit. I have some downtime, some DONN time. So I thought I'd hang out for a bit and see what's popping with all you guys. And just like I said, just kind of hang out and just kind of chat for a while. I got a few cards in the mail, so we'll see how that looks or how that goes. I might show those off. I might just chat. So we will see. Like I said, I got a couple things in the mail. What up? What up, Mikey Mike? Hitman 23 in the house. Oh man, dude. Oh, it's a crazy day. Crazy day. Is my phone? What is going on with my phone? It's like it's trying to just like go to a sleep mode or something. What's going on here? What is happening? What is happening right now? That's strange. I don't know what's actually happening right now. It's weird. It's like my phone is like, oh, it's nothing's happening, so it's gonna shut off. Like it keeps going like dimming the lights. It's weird. I don't know. If my phone just shuts off in the middle of the conversation, could be my phone, could be the interwebs, could be the YouTube, could be the TOPPS. They're getting ready to shutter their doors and leave the reservation, I guess, and go on to greener pastures. So who knows, dude? It's kind of crazy. John Mangini broke the news, at least to me, in his little Facebook group or whatever. He said it's a sad day to be a car collector. And I was like, huh? What's happening? I was at my son's first 7th grade football game at a school. You know, first time you ever played football for the school. And so I was, focused on getting ready for that. And then I just happened to be strolling through the old Facebook and saw that post. And I was like, what? And then I was completely, I had no idea what he was talking about. And then someone else that came along and said what happened. And then he posted a link or something. I don't know. But I was like, oh, yep, that would be it. That would be it. It looks right to me. So, yeah, man, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, at the same time, 70 years has been a good go. I mean, I think it's interesting. And I mean, let me riddle me this, Batman, that people, including myself, but, I'm not as invested in the whole card thing as I had been in the past and all that jazz, especially the last couple of years. But it's not really saying, well, it wasn't top spot per se. But just riddle me this, guys. There's been a lot of people I watched over the years who have pissed and moaned about how TOPPS isn't doing a good job anymore. They're getting lazy with their products. They're not doing anything special with the products. It's the same thing over and over again. They're just like rehashing the same stuff over and over and over and over again. And they're, people, like I said, piss and moan about their designs on their cards and their lack of product, or there's too much product, or it's too expensive, and it's too this, and it's too that. And then they get bought out or they lose their license, and then everybody's like, crying a river. And it's like the same people who was complaining a year ago or 8 months ago about how TOPPS doesn't do a good job for us in the community and blah, blah, as collectors and whatever, about how terrible their, product has been over the years. And they're not, cause they don't have any good competition anymore. And, they're just gotten lazy. And then now they're like, they're leaving. And I'm like, seriously? Aren't you the same schmuck that 6 months ago was like complaining about how they suck as a company. Now that they lost their license to Fanatics or whatever, now you're crying about it, and it's like, you know, am I shocked by these people? No, not really. Nothing shocks me anymore. I shouldn't say nothing. I'm sure someone will. But, I just find it somewhat amusing that people will say out of one side of their mouth how Topps has done nothing for baseball cards in years, decades, whatever. And then now they're like, it's like losing a family member. I'm going to sit here and just grieve. And I'm like, what? I mean, I've seen people on the interwebs, on YouTube, on Facebook, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular, who are like, I feel like they're getting ready to cry, like they literally lost like grandma. And I'm like, guys, I mean, Fanatics might hit it out of the ballpark. Probably not, but there's a chance that they could do something great. Just because by the time Topps, I think, loses their license, they'll have had it for 75 years. Because I think it's 5 more years to go on their license or whatever. So I mean, like, who knows? I mean, there's a possibility that they hit it out of the ballpark. I mean, just because you have 75 years of making baseball cards doesn't mean you have the corner marketed on how good you might have it figured out or how you're better than everybody else. Because let's be honest, a lot of us love Upper Deck. Thought Upper Deck did a much better baseball card. And if anybody was going to get the MLB license back, I would hope it would be Upper Deck. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But maybe Fanatics, will be an Upper Deck, and maybe they're going to put the baseball back in baseball cards. I don't know. I mean, there's a possibility. I mean, we don't know until we know, and it's not going to happen tomorrow. I mean, it's 5 years from now. By that point, COVID might have killed all of us off. I mean, let's be honest. So, who knows? I mean, we might not even make it for 5 more years, so we might be riding this thing into the ground for all we know. So, I mean, I've seen Outbreak. I've seen Outbreak. I've seen Contagion. What else is out there? What's the one with Bruce Willis and he's in the crazy house? What's that called? 12 Monkeys. I've seen 12 Monkeys. I've seen Book of Eli. There's a lot of things that can happen. Mad Max. So we really don't know what happens in 5 years from now. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, for crying out loud, we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow at this point. So who knows? Topps might end up having the license to the end because the end comes before the actual Fanatics takes over. So there may be hope, guys. Hold out hope. Fingers crossed. They don't lose their license. I mean, the Earth as we know it may not exist, but, Topps get to keep their license to the end. See? You got to think of the positives. You got to think outside the box. Don't get yourself in the box. You break out. Break on through to the other side, peeps. So anyways, I mean, I don't really care one way or the other because, again, Topps has it for 5 more years. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But if it ends up being true that the Fanaticals get it, those Fanatics get it, which seems to be the case, then, you don't really know. You don't really know. I mean, it could be awful. It's like all those people who voted for Biden. They're like, you know what? We don't know what we're going to get. I mean, you do know. You should have known what you got. You should have known what you got. But guess what? Now the joke on all of us. So 50 years in the office, in politics, you should have known what we got. Now we have a complete disaster, catastrophe of epic proportions. But now we all got to live with it, right? We all got to live with other people's choices. So now we're going to live with the choices of MLB. And we're going to have to live with that and see how it shakes out. It could be great. Everybody was holding out hope. And then reality set in, and it's been god-awful. Hasn't even been a full year yet. So maybe Fanatics will blow us away. It'll be amazing. It will be amazing. But it could also be a complete clown show where we find ourselves today at. So we will see how things shake out over the course of the next few years. But, if Topps really wanted it, I saw that they're like a $1.3 billion company or something. I saw that today. And I could be wrong about the numbers, so I don't swear to it. I'm assuming they could have thrown a few more schmeckles into the pot to try to sweeten it to keep it. Maybe they were like, we're not doing it. Maybe Fanatics gave a ridiculous offer. I understand that apparently they already have some Major League Baseball rights anyways with like digital products or something. So maybe it's kind of like, and I think not Topps, Fanatics and MLB, like they have like some partnership or there's some ownership of one or the other. I'm sure MLB owns Fanatics or parts of the company or something. So it may make more sense. Who knows? But until we actually see what the actual outcome is, like everybody else who's been had that wait and see approach by this current administration, let's see. Let's see if we can get this mean tweeter out, and then we'll have a much better life for everybody and around the world and us as humans and Americans and all that. We're all gonna be because we got the tweeter in chief out. But guess what? The joke was on us. Here we are. Literally, I mean, the bottom hasn't even dropped out yet. I feel like Dante's Inferno, there's like 7 layers of hell, and we're not even halfway down yet. I mean, we're still heading towards the bottom, but not quite there yet. So that could be what was waiting for us on the other end of this 5 years with Topps losing it. But maybe not. It may be awesome. Like the Miz says, awesome. It could be. But yeah, man, who said you should not mix politics with baseball cards? Definitely wasn't me. We all know that much. But, we will see how it shakes out. We will see. Does anybody have any thoughts about it? Anybody? I know, Hitman, you've been in here. Mike, I know we got a few people in here working. It looks like it's been going from 7 to 9, 9 to 5, working 9 to 5, down to 1 or 2. I'm assuming I'm probably going to end up getting, let me think about this. If I leave the video up, because I'm just kind of free-forming, I'll probably leave it up because what do I care if I hurt people's feelings at this point? I don't care because guess what? I'm already a YouTube Hall of Fame. That's what I live by. That's what I live for this community. To become a YouTube Hall of Famer, class of 2021. I am the Kurt Schilling of this community. I am the Kurt Schilling. And just like me, Kurt Schilling will get into the Hall of Fame eventually. I had to pay my dues, had to kiss the ring. I don't currently have a ring, but just pretend I have one on my fat hand. Had to kiss the ring a little bit. Had to shake babies and kiss hands, but I finally got in. So I believe I'm the Kurt Schilling of this community, just like Kurt Schilling is the Kurt Schilling of the real community. I'm taking a wait and see approach, of course. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you take a wait and see? Because you just don't know. I mean, it could be awful, but it could also be great. I mean, can it be any worse than it already is? Oh, I'm sure it could be. Could it be better? I would say yes, it could be better, right? So it might be okay. What's that? Was it Beaker who goes like, it could be okay. People need to chill out. Like in the Downtown song by, what's that guy's name? The Poppin' Tags guy. What's that Poppin' Tags guy? Downtown. Starts with an M, right? Starts with an M. I'm the Luis Sojo of this community. Sojo. Beaker. What is it? Starts with an M. What's that rapper? What's the white rapper's name from Seattle, Washington? Poppin' Tag, something about Goodwill and whatever. I can't remember that guy's name. It's not Victor. No, I'm just joking. Victor Negron. Victor Negron, mi hermano. Mi hermano. Mi casa su casa, mi hermano. Fanatics better make some nice. Yeah, no kidding. There's a part of me but let's be honest. Let's be honest for a second. That the one thing I think is yeah, that's actually a classic. That's actually a pretty astute perspective. I didn't think about that. That's true. But what I was getting ready to say, and obviously no one knows. I mean, no one, even people who think they know, don't know. No one knows anything. So let's Let's get that out there. Let's get that out there in the open. But Topps has went back to the well time and time and time and time and time again. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they like reproduce the same designs every year. Sometimes they're making inserts of the same inserts from 20 years ago and 30 years ago and 40 years ago and 5 years ago. They're making whole products and just revamping the exact same, card designs with new players, and sometimes using players from the past on the same product and all this kind of stuff. And it's pretty lazy and it's not very inventive. It's not very imaginative. It's like movie studios making the exact same movies over and over and over. And they're like remaking the remakes now. I mean, TV shows do the same thing. I mean, now we got a Wonder Years. It's coming out as the exact same one year, but it's different color people. We have Ghostbusters, but it's the exact same Ghostbusters except it's women. Then we have remaking of Superman and Batman and the Spider-Man, and we're like remaking this. I mean, no one has any original ideas anymore. So where are we at right now? So maybe it's cool. Maybe it's cool to have a fresh take on everything. It could be. I mean, because hopefully they don't use like what Classic was saying, like the same designs, and they end up buying out Bowman or Topps or whoever for you, like you said. If they Panini, I guess, they're not going to rehash the same designs that Topps been doing for the better part of a decade or longer now. At this point, it's like the exact same thing. It's just kind of the same stuff over and over and over again. And then there's like the thing where they do like 50,000 parallels of the same card, and you're creating a rainbow. Taste the rainbow. And it's like, come on, man. Like, that's just the most laziest of lazy things. I'm sure it's being done in all sports products and every company's doing it. But I just get so tired of seeing like whoever fill in the blank, Tatis Jr. in like a freaking Crayola box crayon rainbow color, variants and stuff. It's all the exact same parallels. It's like the laziest all things in the world. Will Fanatics do the same thing? Maybe. Who knows? But I mean, I would at least give them a chance. And again, no one knows. No one knows. They could do the exact same lazy thing. They could completely hit it out of the ballpark. They could do somewhere in the middle. I mean, I don't know. Right. Yeah, Waxman, that's true. There's this real fair in this guy. That'd be epic. That'd be so epic, dude. All right, so let's take a look here. Let's see. Classic said the bigger thing people should be talking about is the Sumo BPA license. They also got. That means whoever they don't buy, Panini, like Leslie Panini, won't be able to use her. Oh, interesting. Okay, I did not think about that. Be able to make cards of active players even without MLB logos. Interesting. See, that's some good observations. I like it. I think like Mets Thomas. I think of it like Mets Topps will likely just get much richer owner. Hopefully that means better cards, even though they'll have zero competition. True. I know I'll be fine regardless. So yeah, and that's kind of how I feel too. Honestly, I feel the exact same way with you, Victor. Like I said, I collect my Japanese guys, and now that I'm kind of getting back into getting back on the old hobby horse and riding it into town, like I'm still mostly buying like vintage stuff. Like I'll show you what I just picked up. I picked up this. I'll do a video to properly show this off. But this is a 2002 Fleer Hideo Nomo relic card. So I mean, I got this card for like a $1. Shipping was I think a couple bucks. So I think I got the card for like $3. So I mean, did I overpay by $3? Maybe. But it's a Nomo. It's a Nomo, and it's a relic, and I'm still buying the oldies, but the goodies. So you just never know. Man, picture that. You'll see players like, yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's somebody be selling that card. Blank name, blank face of Angels. They just have to say they just use the word Angels. Blank face, blank name of Angels player. People will love it. They'll eat it up. Like I got this super exclusive 1 of 1 Mike Trout card. So you just never know. You never know. Oh, what's going on here? All of a sudden it got it got smaller. Oh no. Hope y'all can still see me. I mean my beautiful face. Aaron Judge, I like it. I like it. You can't go, hey, Ron. Hey, Ron. Can't do that one. So yeah. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, I don't really know. I don't really get the whole like super like butthurt thing. I mean, people like taking it personal, like it's a slight against them and their family. Like they're gonna take out like a hitman's gonna come and take somebody out because they're so bent out of shape. I don't really get that. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't really care. At the end of the day, I like just like antagonizing some of you people who get super butthurt and go and cry me a river, like Justin tells us to do or tells you to do. I just don't care. First of all, we got 5 years to go, so hold those tears for 5 years. Oh, I'm a poet. I didn't know it. And then like after that, we'll just kind of play it by ear. I mean, like Classic said, maybe it's going to end up they might buy out one of these companies and get their designs and whatever else, or they're going to create their own because like they said, it's going to be a pretty big hustle to get that much done in a couple years. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. And it don't really affect anything I do. Kind of like what Victor said, I'm just going to keep doing what I do if I even make it that long because we live in this world. I mean, so I just have to say again, if anybody even end up watching, I mean, I know I got a few people watching right now, but they go back and listen to this later in the archives, in the catacombs. So as most of you all know, my son's mom is Japanese, and we were talking today before my son's football game, and so I told her about the whole Jack Morris indefinitely suspended for his imitation of a Japanese person when he was talking about Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, I'm not going to do that on camera because I don't want to be canceled as well. But I told her about it, and she's Japanese from Japan, not a Japanese American. She's 100% Japanese. And I just asked her take on it because, I'm a white boy, and maybe I'm insensitive to the plight of others. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, here, I let her listen to the clip. I said, here you go. And she's like laughing. She thinks it's hilarious. Obviously, and she was like, I'm sure Shohei Ohtani was laughing or he has a good sense of humor or whatever. Like, people want to be offended for other people who may not be offended. And people who want to go to ruin other people and like put their heads on pikes and like they're in a war, like it's Vladimir the Impaler or Vlad the Impaler, and this is Romania in like the 1100s AD or something. They're going around. They want to put people's heads on pikes and out front of their castles because they got themselves a new head to put on a pike. And I find it interesting because I'm sure you can find a person who would counter that argument. But here's the thing: if the player doesn't care, why should you care? Because it was directed towards that specific play. I guess that's how I kind of feel about it. If they have a sense of humor about it, that's fine. Also, he apologized within 5 minutes or whatever. And it goes back to this way we live right now: is that somebody makes a mistake. I obviously don't understand how many people keep making these mistakes because they already know the outcome's going to end up be outrage. I don't get how you just think even the most quote unquote innocent, joke now could be misconstrued. So it's just like I said, people just look to be offended. People look to be butthurt. People look to try to crucify and lop off as many heads as they can. It's like a drinking game. How many people can I get canceled? How many people can I ruin their lives over something so just goofy and silly? I mean, it's like, it was like he was like, talking about his mom or something. It was crazy. But anyway, I just asked somebody. I didn't even say anything. It wasn't like I was just like, listen to this. What do you think? And I'm like, and then she was just like laughing, like, what? And I'm like, yeah, he got suspended indefinitely. And she was like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, no, I'm not kidding you. So, I mean, you just have some people, you have other people who want to show outrage for someone who may not care, who could care less. I don't know. Like I said, I know I'm talking to some people I'm sure understands this. Other people are probably would be extremely, they think what happened to Jack Morris is deserved. They think his head should be on a pie. They should do a public execution of poor Jack Morris for ill timed, ill mannered, inappropriate, what he thought was a joke. I don't get it. Like I said, it's always about the intention. You know what I'm saying? Again, I go back to saying when someone had like hate in their heart and they're, vitriol, when they're saying negative things about somebody, case in point, basketball and football players and like commentators who aren't white who do this kind of thing, they could just be like, sorry, and they're fine. It's back to normal. Life is normal. No problem. No harm, no foul. You can be as hateful and mean spirited and quasi racist as you want, but you're good to go. You're good to go. But if someone else who does it or says anything that is misconstrued or taken inappropriately, that white person is done for. Dunsky. You're out. You're out of here. You're fired. It's just mind-boggling at this point. I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. People like refuse to acknowledge this phenomenon that we find ourselves in, or they just don't care, or they think it's appropriate. But I'm like, if you think it's as appropriate, think about this. If you think it's as appropriate of what happened to, again, Jack Morris and fill in the blank guy or whatever, then why would you not think that the same thing should be done for a person who would be not white? Why not? Why would you not, use the same paint stroke for anybody and everybody who does or says what is currently in today's society inappropriate? Why would that not apply for everybody? The answer is because the rules don't apply the same. Because if they did, then I guarantee you things would change real quick when everybody else would be getting canceled and ruined and lose their jobs and whatever. But since it's only a one type of person, generally speaking, then it's okay. But I guarantee you, when the hounds get released on other people, and they start bringing their wagons and their dogs to chase you down, and they circle your house with pitchforks and torches like it's an old Frankenstein movie, then you're gonna feel differently when it's you or your family or someone or your favorite sports commentator or your actor or actress or fill in the blank musician or whatever. Then you'll feel different. But until then, you're like, meh, it's okay. I mean, like how many, like I would say hundreds at this point, basketball players in the NBA have said so many, and coaches, so many derogatory, inappropriate things. I mean, we're talking about, I probably lost track of how many things they get called out on. I say called out in quotes because it's more like, we're gonna come out here and bring it to your attention, and then you can like be like, oh, it was taken out of context, or that's not what I said. Well, yes, it is what you said. I heard it, and that's exactly what you said, and that gets acceptable. That's fine. But if you are a different person of a different race, then you say the same thing and you go bye-bye. You go down the memory hole and everything goes bye-bye. So I don't know. It's interesting times we find ourselves in for sure. They lost their baseball license to Fanatic. Yes, golf. You would be correct. Oh, I see. Yeah, George. Yeah, so that's essentially it. TOPPS lost out their agreement with MLB and MLBPA, I think, the Players Association, to fanatics who never made a baseball card in their lives. But it's not going to happen for 5 more years. So we'll still be getting TOPPS cards until whatever, 2026, I guess. And we're in 2021 now. It's 5 years. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So I kind of talked about that in the beginning. I'm just kind of throwing all kinds of stuff out there, which I usually do in my live stream if I don't have somebody on here with me. Because if I have somebody on here with me, I'm more well behaved, as we all know. I'm a good boy, not a bad boy, not a bad boy. But being a YouTube Hall of Famer gives me a lot of street cred. I mean, I can walk around in the streets of Indiana, whipping out my patch, and it carries a lot of weight in the sports card world. I mean, I could probably use this now as like my mask. I could put a couple strings on it, and it'd be like right here, as my patch will be right here, and I'll put a couple strings to it. Dude, I just made myself a face mask. That should protect me forever, because it's just the awesomeness would kill anything around it. It's kind of like John Travolta, the boy in the bubble kind of thing. But that patch will permeate just awesomeness and goodness and good vibes and just everything, and it would kill any bacterias or bachi bad things in the air. So yes, it says online Panini lost football and basketball too. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was very offensive, Golf. I should have thought about it before I did it, but again, it's context. It's context. So I'm just throwing myself at the mercy of the public court, that we can have a honest and open dialogue. We can act like grown-ups, which I know that's hard to do with the current administration, because we have little children running the country who don't know what they're doing and ruining what's left of this nation, and now apparently ruining other parts of the world. So when you have little kids in control, this is the clown show we find ourselves in. So I feel like it's just like, lemmings just shoo, right off where we're going. You need to go that class with Jack Morris. Yes, I did go to the class with Jack Morris and Bob Brentley. Was it Bob Brentley, or that was his name? The New York Mets commentator. I don't. It's wild and crazy. Wild and crazy. Down with TOPPS, baby. Down with TOPPS. You better believe it. Cuetos, I'm sorry. I don't know if I mispronounced that. I know I've seen you around, and I do apologize if I mispronounced that. It was not my intention. Please do not be offended. I am doing my personal best. I did go to a public school, so my English is not always that great of being able to read properly, but I am trying my personal best, sir. I'm assuming it's a sir, and I do apologize. Yeah, man, it's a beast. I know, that's the thing, dude. I mean, people do not know how to show grace anymore, or like no one knows how to show somebody, a little bit of understanding. Like, we've lost that as a culture, Like, it would be different if he was being mean spirited, if he was being hateful, if he was running him, Otani or anyone into the ground. I don't care what the background of the person is saying it, or the person, the brunt of the joke or whatever. But I mean, like I said, it's just like it's all about, who's going chicken hunting, we's going chicken hunting, everybody going head hunting now. Everybody's a head hunter. They're always trying to grab as many scalps as they can across the interwebs or whatever. And I'm just like, man, I mean, if I would never apologize in that situation. If I did what he did, I would never apologize. But because then what happened? He apologized profusely, and then he still is going to probably lose his job. I mean, he's suspended indefinitely. A lot of times you say that to the person publicly, and then they let you go. Maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? But I hope not. I hope he does it. But I mean, that's the thing. You can apologize. You either can really mean it, or you can say it because you have to. No one knows the person's intention. No one knows that person's heart, right? So you can't say it wasn't authentic or real. How do you know? But then you can do all that and still the outcome's the same. So what is the benefit, or what is the out the what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? What is the outcome you're looking for? If you apologize, hey, sorry, it was not my intention to hurt anybody's feelings or offend anyone. I do apologize. I thought it was funny. I was told it wasn't. Upon further review, I see I could have hurt other people's feelings. I do apologize. I'll try to be better, do better, whatever. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, and then regardless if it's meant, if you're not meaning it or not. I mean, again, but if you do all that and you still end up getting the same outcome, then what do you do? Like, how many times have people done that? I mean, like, I would say 99% of the time you have a person who does that. They come out and apologize, usually very quickly, the same day, maybe sometimes in the same few minutes, the very next day, whatever, and they're still like treated like a pariah in the society, and like their lives ruined, the jobs ruined, whatever. I'm like, how? I mean, like, it'd be different. There's a track record. There's a track record of inappropriateness, fill in the blank what that actually is, then sure. But when somebody makes a mistake one time, I mean, where are we at right now? I mean, how can you give other people all these chances to continue to just like, you know, take it so extreme and so far, and they keep getting all these opportunities to keep screwing up. But yeah, you give one guy one chance, he screws up, and then it's done. It's done ski. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. Like, it is what it is. I'm just like over it at this point. I mean, am I shocked by any of this stuff? No, I am not. What I think is going to happen for national Thompson, maybe keep baseball the same and brings the TOPPS products to. What is FB and basketball? Oh, football. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that one thing, one. I mean, the other thing is what you might find offensive, other people don't find offensive, or they just could care less. And that's the thing. Like I was saying before, I asked my wife, who's Japanese. I'm sorry, my ex-wife, my son's mom, who were like still best friends. We hung out today. We hung out and it was goofed off, waiting for my son's football game to start because it was raining in the beginning, so there's no football game. I asked her, let her read the remarks, hear the little 10, 15-second video clip or whatever. And she like cracking up. I didn't give her any like, I didn't try to like loosen or grease up the wheels a bit to try to get her on my side or my perspective. I'm just like, hey, what do you think? And she was like, people are getting upset about this. I'm like, yeah, this dude could possibly lose his job. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I know. You're not telling me anything. And I'm like, I mean, the thing is, if Otani don't even care, then what are we even talking about here? And again, if Jack Morris was purposely being a douchebag, well, then that's different. He just thought he was trying to be funny. Obviously, people find it not funny. I didn't say not people, a few people, very few, small amount of people, but they have a megaphone in their face on YouTube or on Twitter or whatever, and like, amplifying the outrage to, and it's people who aren't even, generally speaking, baseball fans or football fans or basketball fans. They're not even fans of the sport. They just hear about it and then they just go immediately to trying to ruin somebody's life. Like, and then they go on to the next target and the next target and the next target and the next target and the next target. They just keep on going. And I guarantee you, if you just think about this for 1 minute. Riddle me this. I already said that before, but I'm saying it again. Riddle me this, guys. The mob attacked the Redskins, right? Put them on the ropes. They started bending the knee, literally and figuratively. Now they're changing their name. They're in the process of changing their name to whatever. Cleveland Indians. They had them on the ropes. They got them to be all like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't want to. Please. Even though, like, if you would see, I'm not even kidding you, there's videos of like tens of thousands of Indians fans going to the stadium, and once in a while there'd be like 4 Native Americans like out in front of the stadium, like being combative and confrontational with the fans, like banging a drum and yelling at them and stuff. And you're bending the knee to four people who just want to get in other people's faces while they're just taking their families to the ball field. And again, it's all about intention. The Cleveland Indians obviously name is not to be mean or hateful or whatever. But then think about this: the mob went for the Atlanta Braves, and they said from the get-go, "We're not changing our name. Period. End of story. We're not changing the name. It's not. It's not even something we're considering." Guess what? The mob came for them. They said, "Back the f up." And guess what? The mob just moved on to the next victim that they could bring down and bring them to their knees and crumble them to the floor, because the Braves was not having it. And that's what you have to do. You have to stand up and be like, "I'm not having it." If you didn't do anything wrong, then you can say, "I'm not having it." There was nothing wrong with these names. Again, if it was meant to be offensive and they're like making fun of, well, that's a different story. But the Braves were like, "Nuh-uh, not in my house." And then guess what? The mob was like, "Well, shucky darn, they won't crumble underneath our pressure." Moving on. And guess what? The Braves are just doing just fine with no problem. Right, everybody. And then it's exactly right, dude. You're exactly right. Everybody. But that's the thing. You got to just say, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to cave under the pressure of what you're trying to do to me. And the Braves are a perfect example of that. Because why should they? They didn't do it. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything wrong. And I mean, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. But that's the thing, is like when the mob can't get you to bend a knee and destroy you and ruin you, they go find the soft targets, because you're not a soft target. You're saying, "Ain't gonna happen, not on my watch," and they move on to somebody else or something else. And that's the way it is. So if you have more people and more entities that stood up and said, "Listen, I'm not here. We're just here to play baseball. We're not here to be offensive. We're not, if you're taking it offensively, I'm sorry, but that is not. You're entitled to your opinions and not entitled to the facts. The fact is, this is not meant to be offensive. We never claimed it to be offensive. There's no racist history connected to this. This is who we are as a team. We've always been proud of being Atlanta Braves or Milwaukee Braves before that, whatever. It's not meant to be offensive. You're not going to tell me now in 2021 that we were somehow doing something mean-spirited, hurtful, and derogatory and racist in the last 80 years or 70 years or 50 years or whatever, when that was never the case. You're not coming at us like that. I appreciate that. Now, are they going to stick to the guns? I hope so. It sounds like they are. But I mean, there's not, most places will not do that. Most companies will not do that. Most people will not do that. And guess what? You apologize and you're sorry, and you're like, just like bending the knees and crying, and people like, you're like losing your mind publicly to try to like show remorse. And guess what? It doesn't change a single thing. Jack Morris is a perfect example. Apologized within minutes of saying what he said, and it was still like not good enough. It's never good enough. That's the thing. It's never good enough, people. Remember that. It's never good enough, because no matter how much you try to make it right, it's never good enough. There were more Native Americans proud of the names than exactly. That goes back to my point. Exactly. That goes exactly back to my point. There's more people that were happy, proud of it than not. People don't know. People don't want to learn the history. It's the same thing with Uncle Ben's and Aunt Jemima and Land of Lakes and all this other stuff. All these things. These are historical, important caricatures or actual people, historical things that people just see an image and they just immediately jump because it was made 100 years ago or 80 years ago. That it has to be, some sort of minstrel racist thing or whatever, and it's not. If it was, then it's fine, but that's not the case for 99.9% of the things out there. Jack Morris said with a faux Japanese accent, somebody, his colleague, partner, or whatever, said, how would you pitch to Shohei Ohtani? I guess it was on Tuesday's game, if I'm not mistaken. So he said he threw Jack a question, and then Jack said I'm not going to do it because I know how this world is right now. But he said with a faux Japanese accent, very, very carefully, but with a Japanese sounding accent. And people were outraged by that. And it's literally, I mean, like, and then of course someone probably talked in his ear and was like, "What are you doing, Jack? You can't say that on the air." So then, like, the very next minute or two or the next commercial break, he profusely apologizes, does the whole song and dance, and then they still were like, "We're going to suspend you indefinitely from the company who does the commentating." And then the Detroit Tigers was like, "Yes, we support that decision indefinitely." Sometimes it definitely means permanently. So we'll see how it shakes out. But it's like BLM trying to take down the Lincoln Memorial, but he helped. I don't, it's literally. I saw them taking down Frederick Douglass as well. I've seen Martin Luther King Jr. ruined, like statues of him taken down or like um, destroyed or tore up and stuff. And I'm like, man, where are we at right now? It's just like I said, it's. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, people just don't care to learn the history. I mean, what is, those who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it. I forgot who said that, Theodore Roosevelt. I'm not for sure who said that, but that is so true. And we're finding out the hard way. That's exactly what's happening. People just choose, the ignorance of people is literally astonishing at this point. You're just immediately just assume something's bad or wrong or racist without actually learning the history of it. And then actual terrible racist things that are out happening, you don't even care. You care less. You're like, you know, you can say whatever you want to say. You're my favorite celebrity. I'll let you slide. I don't care. But some old, president said or did. Oh, well, that guy's coming down for sure. It's just, it is what it is, man. It's just crazy. I mean, again, it goes back to Jack Morris. It goes back to Bob Brentley. It's all about the intention. That to me is what the thing is. It's about the intention. Is there a history of some sort of behaviors and all that? If that kind of stuff ends up becoming, factual, then okay, it's fine. Let's have that conversation, I guess. Then, can those people be rehabilitated? I would hope so. If they were actually had a history of it, I mean, maybe they shouldn't be in the public eye for the time being. But if they can actually be rehabilitated, why would you let people in prison come back out and they can be rehabilitated from the previous crimes? And you want to give those people a chance, but you don't want to give somebody who said something mean a chance or something stupid or something ignorant. You don't want to give that person a chance to do right and make amends, but you want to let the person who like robbed a bank 3 or 4 or 5 times over and held up at gunpoint or beat up an elderly person. You want to give that person a chance to come back to society and make amends and do better. But you don't the old dude who does something stupid or says something stupid or could be mistaken, terrible, taken out of context or whatever. That person should just disappear forever. That person should be just flushed down the memory hole like they never existed because of one thing they said. Who knows, dude? It's crazy, man. It's crazy times we find ourselves in. Indeed. Poor Jack Morris. I wonder if they're going to take him off the. He's gonna get the Roberto Alomar treatment. Isn't Jack Morris a Hall of Famer? I think he is. I want to say he is, right? Jack Morris is a Hall of Famer. He's going to end up getting taken down. He'll end up just having a plaque, but it won't be with all the bells and whistles. Maybe they're going to take him out of the Hall of Fame, and he just be the Hall of Shame. Him and Roberto Alomar will be sharing a little hallway for people with a asterisk mark next to their name after the fact. I mean, with Alomar, from what I understand, it was pretty bad stuff. But the fact of the matter is, it's like guys already in the Hall of Fame who now have to have a asterisk or something next to it. Well, the old dude that pitched on an epic game 7, and then he won. Let him be. Exactly. I mean, I'm just like, come on, man. I know, like I said, I know it's a lot to ask in modern society to just, let all just let it be, man. Like the Beatles song, "Let It Be." It's too much to ask nowadays. People require too much flesh, right? A pound of flesh to make it right, and even then, it's not enough. Yeah, see, I thought Morris was a Hall of Famer. Some of those guys. Hey, what up, George? Thanks, George. Some of those guys, like the Trevor Hoffmans of the Harold Bays and all those, I start losing track of who's actually a Hall of Famer and who's just, really good, but maybe not Hall of Fame worthy, but they're still in the Hall of Fame. Jack Morris would fall in that category. I'm sure he has a pretty good career, but I don't really, when I think of Jack Morris, I really don't think Hall of Famer. But he's a, he was definitely a good pitcher. I remember watching him pitch for the Tigers for many years, for sure. But anyways, but yeah, I know this conversation is a little bit all over the place. I'm sure I'll be expecting, I don't know, I'm going to go with 10, maybe 15 thumbs down on this one, depending on how many people really watch. But I'm sure there'll be some viewers. I'm sure there'll be some people who are gonna give me some thumbs down. But guess what? I love it. I love it, people. That just means I said something that you listened to that made you get all weepy. Oh, weepy. So, because I'll be the first one to admit I'll thumbs down lots of videos. I ain't too proud to admit that. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know what? If you say something I don't like, thumbs down. So I can take it. I thumbs down probably your video right now. That guy listening right now, I probably thumb down your video. So bring it on. I wonder what the amount of, I don't know what my highest amount of thumbs down would be. I've done some doozy videos though. I'm sure I got some out there. I mean, my one when I gave the middle finger to the community and was like, I'm out. That one I'm sure got a lot because I got all kinds of like comments, and then there were like people all kinds of like, had an opinion about people who like never comments on my video back then were like out in force trying to like get their 2 cents in. People who like never paid my paid mine to my channel all of a sudden show up and showed out, which I thought was pretty hilarious, quite frankly. I'm like, look at you, jagoffs. So I just picked up a 1920 Grover Alexander hand cut. That's awesome, dude. We're gonna do a lot more of that, right? Nowadays, once TOPPS loses their license, we're gonna go back and get all the old and OD time cards, all those olden time cards. So yeah, for sure. But the thing is that people will complain and people piss and moan about that kind of stuff. 1920, sorry, but yeah, the vodka, it's a going, it's a flowing. People will piss and moan, like I said, about the TOPPS thing, but remember, there were bajillions of baseball cards. So you don't even have to worry about not buying TOPPS cards if you're not even a collector of modern day products. So a lot of the people who I find are complaining are vintage collectors mostly. Since when are you buying modern day TOPPS cards? And in the like, is that even a thing? Is it even a thing? And like I said, I mean, most likely you're spending most of your time and money, if not almost all of it, like high 90% of it, on vintage anyways. I mean, why does it matter? And also, we all should know that TOPPS didn't have the market cornered back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, or whatever, whenever they lost all those companies lost their license. I mean, Upper Deck made a great cards. A lot of Fleer and Donruss products made some really good cards. So maybe Fanatics will do a bang up job too. Maybe they'll do a better job. I mean, like I said before, my favorite products ever was been Upper Deck products for the most part, especially from like 2000 on 2001, 2 through the end. I thought they made some heck of a great products. I don't know why people are losing their minds. That's right. Screw new stuff. You got it, dude. Screw new stuff. Like Beaker. So I'm gonna do that all the time now. Now that I like it. But yeah, I think I don't care about the new stuff. Like, sure, am I buying new stuff every once in a while? Recently, I'll buy new stuff from here or there, but I don't think twice about it. I mean, honestly, if I like the card, I buy the card. If I like the player, I mean, like I said, I got let's see here. I showed you all this. I have 3. I don't even know what this is. 4 baseball cards car store nearest you. Dallas or MLB.com. Interesting. But this one actually has an Ichiro on this. I didn't even know this card even existed. But you have Sammy Sosa, Pedro Martinez, Ichiro, On the back is Randy Johnson, Mike Piazza, and Derek Jeter. But I got this. I don't know where I even picked this up at, but I got this Ichiro, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know what year this came out. Oh, here it says at the bottom, 2003. So I mean, who knows, dude? I just, yeah, I don't know, dude. At this point, who knows? Who knows? Let's see. I got a Donruss Studio, some random Japanese guy, Norihiro Nakamura. With it's been sitting out here so long, there's like some dust on it. Oh my gosh, it was like literally. Oh man, did I just bend this card? Son of a gun. Oh no, I don't think I did. This is some Fleer Bazooka card. It's like it went through literally hell and back. See, there's any other cards floating around in here? Oh, there's a whole bunch of Andre Dawson cards, a bunch of Ryan Sandberg and Don Mattingly and Jackie Robinson. What am I missing? Something here? Let's see. My faves are oddball stuff. Yep, George. Stuff like Hostess, Drake's Cakes, yeah, Jiffy Pop. Oh, Jiffy Pop. I like that Jiffy Pop. Yeah, I agree with you, George. I mean, I like the oddballs. I just like my ballplay. I mean, Ichiro, Mattingly, Larkin to a lesser degree, all my Japanese dudes. I mean, I just like cards. And my players here's one of I don't know who did this. Metz Baking Company, Sioux City, Iowa. I know I've shown this not too long ago, but it's Don Mattingly here. I love it, dude. I love this card. It's so cool. I haven't put it up yet, but I will. And then I found this sticker of Mattingly back on the Panini product back in the day from, I don't know, 1988. But this sticker, the old sticker here. But yeah, I mean, Don Mattingly. So yeah, I don't know. Then we got the Barry Larkin on this base or this actual playing days card, like a playing card, like a deck of cards. Old Barry Larkin, old BL Barry Larkin, not to be confused with BB Barry Bonds, Barry Steroid Bonds. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. It was a little bit everywhere. We're reaching an hour. And I want to respect everybody's evening. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll do that. But I hope you all enjoyed watching. If you didn't, I don't care. Go screw yourselves. I don't give a crap about you or your feelings. And until next time, peace.